Hello there. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's doing really well. It's a very short week for us here in the UK because we're lucky enough to have holiday days on the last Friday and this Monday. So we've got a 4-day week, which is awesome. We're going to be chatting about the content suggestion areas in the weekly webinar this week. But before we do that, a little bit of housekeeping. Hi, Anne. Hi, Adele. If you want to say hello, just pop it in the chat window to the right there. Be great to say hello to you. So, yeah, a little bit of housekeeping. We do have a questions area right next to the chat box where if you do have any questions while we're going through the webinar today, please pop them in there. But if I could ask you to just keep them in relation to the content suggestion area that we're going through, that we're looking at, that would be awesome. Um, and we do also like to do an icebreaker every week on our webinars. So my icebreaker this week was, as I just said, we've just had the Easter holidays this weekend. I know you guys in the States sadly don't get those as public holidays, but we do in the UK. And it's actually one of my favorite holidays because it's like Christmas. You get 4 days off, you get to eat chocolate, you get to eat loads of stuff, but you actually do it in nice sunny weather. What is your favorite public holiday? Is the question today. If I can get some uh, responses there, that would be great. Ooh, hi, Liz. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Adele. Independence Day. Awesome. Christmas. Thanksgiving. I'm always jealous of Thanksgiving, to be fair, because that looks like awesome. We don't get that in the UK, obviously. Christmas. Like I said, I love Christmas. I love New Year's, but Easter's awesome because you get the nice weather to go with it. And if you live in the UK, that's quite an important one. Thanksgiving for sure. Awesome. Um, Independence Day. Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for getting involved with that. So, as I said, we're going to be looking at the content suggestion areas of the Sendible dashboard. And there's a couple of reasons why we've developed this feature. As a term, I'm sure that everyone is, we're all about Christmas all year, my job. Fair enough, Liz. Nice one. A term that you're probably all aware of is content is king. Can I see some yeses or Ys or Ns in the chat box if this is a term that you're aware of? It was originally termed by Bill Gates, actually. I was just looking just before this. Where this content is king comes from. It actually comes from Bill Gates, which I never knew. But essentially, content is king. We can never have, as marketers, we can never have enough content to be able to post about. And one of the other things you want to make sure of is that with the content suggestion areas, you're going to work with lots of different clients. You're going to work with you know people whose niches or niches, as you say in the states there, you've never even heard of. You don't know too much about. The content suggestion area inside of Sendible will allow you to actually find content specific to your clients. So then you can actually send that to them and go, this is what we're looking to post about for you, making sure that the content they're sending out and you're creating for them is deliverable and also aimed directly at their clients so they can then grow um, build that trust and liking of their clients, which is obviously very important. Cool. So that's basically the suggestion areas in a nutshell. But let's have a look at what it looks like. So let's share my screen. This is where we go into infinity and beyond. There we go. Do that one. See, there we go. Infinity and beyond. Cool. So hopefully you can all see my screen there, the sendable screen. I'll pop back and just go, if you can give me a yes, anyone can give me a yes, just make sure you can see my sendable screen. Yes, thank you, Adele. Awesome. Cool. So the content suggestion area is under this part of the dashboard, sendable dashboard, which is called content and then suggestions. We do have three different areas where you can actually get content from to build up, but you can get that from the suggestions area, the RSS feeds, we already have a recorded webinar on the RSS feeds. So, you know, that we've already covered this in the past previously, but if you want to see a refresher of that, please do let us know. And then we have the My Content area as well, which incidentally enough will actually be covered next week, because the webinar next week is all about content libraries, which is what this My Content area is here. It's the suggestions area. So on on a basic level, it looks like there's a lot here, but nothing really specific to what you need. Because essentially, what we've broken this down into a very straightforward, easy to use area. So we've got this enter a topic area here. We've got these explore topic areas here. With the explore topic areas, we've have this broken down into different verticals, niches, whatever you want to call them. So we've got news and politics, technology and information, sports, music, all these things which could be trending at the moment. And if you wanted to look into, for instance, world news, we could post out something about world news. And let's have a look for anything here. How news TV outlets are covering Earth Day in 2022. This is what we get when we look into world news. This is one of the top ones we have. But as I said, the best way to use this is actually for finding content for your clients, and finding content to post out about. Because obviously, on the surface level here, there's tons of stuff, but this may not be specific and for the niche you're looking into. So what we can do is we can actually enter in a keyword in this topic area here. Now, you always want to make sure that you have a broad keyword rather than a specific keyword, because you're going to have better results if you keep that broad. So, as an example, um, if we were to type in comics, we can see that we've got comics, comic creator, comic journalism, DC comics, indie comics, about comics, horror comics, Marvel comics, loads of things coming off this one keyword. But if we just choose the specific keyword of comics, we can see that we've got over 3,500 articles that are currently being sorted by relevance, and we're looking at all articles. If we did comic art, for instance, we only have 70 articles because we're being a lot more specific with this. So we want to make sure that we keep this nice and broad, firstly, which is awesome. So once we've established that we've got this broad keyword, we can see that we've got some related areas coming up here, which is great. So we've got cartooning, artists, pop culture, etc., which we can then drill down into and find more content to post out about. We can, as I said, we've also got 3,500 articles sorted by relevance, which it would take you years to, if you wanted to take all of this and post that out, that would actually take you absolutely years. But what we can do is we can try and narrow this down a little bit. If we change this to time, we still get the same amount of articles, but if we do this for top articles this month, we're now sorting all these articles that have been shared on social media, on socials, where we can actually find more stuff to post out about, which is great. So we're choosing relevant, timely things which are, people are looking for and want to read about. As I said, you do have this option here for RSS feeds, where you can actually add in an RSS feed and have content that way as well. But within the suggestions area, that is where you can find more specific things on an easier method. Now, as you just saw, what happened there was when I came off the screen, I actually lost all of my search. Was naturally it is a complete pain in the backside. So what we can do is, if we do that search again, we can actually star this search and pop it under the My Topics area. So we've actually got this ready for, if we click off somewhere, so if we go to RSS feeds again, come back to suggestions. Instead of trying to find it in here, we can just come back here and have that stored ready to post out. We can also, from this suggestion area, look at influencers. Now, why would we want to look at influencers? And this is influencers for Twitter. Why would we want to do this? The reason why we would want to do this is that we can actually follow these influencers through our Twitter account. So, for instance, if we look at Neil Gaiman, who's the writer of American Gods, you can see that I'm already I'm already following him on my Twitter account here. Let's try and find. I don't think I'm following Mark Hamill. So, if I followed Mark Hamill, I can follow him through my Twitter account. And if I probably follow these already, yeah, I do, yeah. But what we can do is we can go through this and we can start following all these people for a specific Twitter account. And what that will allow us to do is when we go to our social feed and we go to Twitter here, our Twitter feed, our home feed, is eventually going to get fed up with, not fed up, but filled up with specific content for, again, our niche. So we can make sure that that is another way we can use the content suggestions. But that's what the influencers tab is for here. Cool. So that's an overview of what you can do, but it even goes more powerful than that. Because what we can do is, say, for instance, I wanted to post out about this. There's a couple of things I can do with this. I can share it. And if I click on share, it's going to open up the compose box. From the compose box, then I can select what social accounts I want to post out to and treat that as a normal post, and that will be sent out then. What I can also do, though, is I can click these three dots and I can add this to a queue. So if I have a queue set up, I can open up the compose box, choose which queue I want to add this to, and add this as a piece of content. So I can fill up my queue with lots of things ready to post out about, and they can go at those specific times. And then the other thing I can do with this is I can save my content. Now, saving my content adds it to a content library. At the moment, we've only got one content library, which is called My Content, and we can call this, I don't even know what this is about, Cowboy. Shaolin Cowboy. There we go. Let's just call that Cowboy. We can add that content, and then that's there ready to use whenever we want. As I said, content libraries and the content area is going to be explored next week more in depth with Savannah. What else can we do here? So we can also select these in bulk. And you can choose the curate content option. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing, because I do understand that our lovely, my lovely friend Sarah from the support team is here with us, and there's a couple of things that she'd like to go through in regards to that. But from a nutshell, that's basically the suggestions area. Hopefully you can see how powerful that is, and how you can actually use that to create a lot of good content there ready for your clients. And as I said, build in information that make sure that it's deliverable and specific for them. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Pete. Thank you so much for that great walkthrough.
No
Pretty
worries.
much covered almost everything, but there are some other topics that I would like to go through. So, firstly, I just want to mention some frequently asked questions that we get. So, at this time, content suggestions can only be provided in English. We also do not sort the information via geographical location, but these are definitely great ideas, and we do urge you to vote on these ideas in our Future Ideas portal, which you can find at feedback.sendible.com. And the more votes, the more popularity, the quicker we will look to implement it. Then there's also something else that I'd like to discuss. So, how does the system determine what content to display when a search is made? So, there are three things that we look at. One, it takes influences for a given topic. Two, it looks at the content they're sharing and the engagement. Three, it surfaces the content based on the influence of the people sharing it. Okay, so then, well, let's have a look at the create content option that Pete was just about to discuss. So let me just share my screen. 1 second. Um, there we go. I'm guessing you can see my screen, right?
We can, yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Okay. So in this section over here, so I'm in the suggestion area, and let's say you decide, hey, I want to know about a particular topic, or I'm really interested in it. You'll come into the enter topic section over here. So I'll choose dogs because I love dogs. So over here, so if you here we will bring all the dog articles, all the ones that we have brought into this area. Here you'll decide, hey, like I really like this particular article, but you like, I don't want to send it out right now. And what you'll do is you'll click onto the curate content button over here. And what this will do is it will populate your content library that Pete just spoke about. So if you previously set up a content library, it will show in this section over here. You will then choose the content library where you want it to be. So let's use that one. And you will put in a title over here. And then what you can do is you even have the option to add a tag. So that's optional, of course. And then you can add it to the content area. So let's say that. So now you decided at a later stage, hey, I actually have this great article that I want to send out. You'll come over to the My Content tab over here, and you will go to the library that you saved it in or sent it to. And then you can decide over here, like, hey, I actually want to share this out today. So you'll click onto the share button over here, and we would recommend for you to choose HTML, the HTML version, because this will pull through your images. So here you can decide which profile you want to send it to. And as you can see, the topic, well, the title is saved over here. And here you can decide like, hey, I want to send it right now. Or if you don't, you can click onto the schedule icon and you can decide, hey, I'm going to send it at a later date. You even have the option to save it as a draft and come back in at another time to save it. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to cover, but I think we have a question. Let's
We
see.
do, so we've got an interesting one from Liz there, Sarah. Is most of this only available on the higher plans? It doesn't look like I have access to my content, which is
Ooh,
interesting.
that is very interesting. Off the top of my head, let me just think.
To my knowledge, it should be available to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes.
Let me just have a
Hmm.
look here. Um,
Yeah, let's double check that. That's a great question, Liz. I'm just double checking it, as and Pete is too.
hmm. 1 second there, Liz. You've confounded us. 1 moment.
And Liz, what plan are you on? Are you on the creator or traction plan? It does say that it's available on all plans, Pete. I'm looking at the Sendible pricing plan, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
Content
that's
suggestions, all plans. What would be the best thing there, Liz? Is if you could contact our support team. Um, yeah, that's interesting.
yeah. And I see
Um,
Missy also got a pop up saying
Missy's
that she has
also
to
got.
upgrade.
This is very interesting. Um,
Okay, so it says advantage to upgrade to the scale expansion. I get the same message list gets. I can search, but I cannot save my content. Hmm.
yeah, you should have the My Content library. Let me just. This is what you call on-the-spot troubleshooting for
Yes.
if ever you wanted a behind-the-scenes peek of what Sendible support and the CS team can do at a moment's notice, and always wondered what does it look like when the Sendible team do troubleshooting. Then here you go. Let's have a look here.
It definitely is a cool feature. I think we're going to have to take a closer look into that, Pete, because I
Um,
mean, it doesn't specifically even say on the pricing plan that you cannot save it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. What we'll do, Liz and Missy, is we'll actually reach out to you outside of this, because yeah, I've just taken a look at your account and I can see that you actually don't have a my content area, which is or a content library. Yeah, and if you try and interesting. We shall look into this for you guys. Let me just grab some details off you here a second. That is very interesting. What you can do, however, is you can still use the feature. Let me just have a look to make sure. Yeah. So what you can do for those who don't have access to this library, let me just make sure I share the same screen. There we go, infinity and beyond. When you click on these three dots, guys, you'll just see the share and add to queue option. You won't see the save content. But if you have a queue created, you could add that to your queue and you can also share it. So you can still use this feature, but sadly not the content library option. As I said, Savannah will be diving deeper into that for the webinar next week. But yeah, we'll definitely look into that for you. Awesome. Let me just. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is on the spot troubleshooting, trying to figure stuff out. Me and Sarah not even breaking a sweat. There we go. But are there any other questions or queries in regards to the content suggestions area? And as we said, it is a very cool feature. I love it personally. But no, doesn't look like it. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just in the middle of grabbing some email addresses. There we go. So Liz and Missy, I've grabbed your email addresses so we can actually reach out to you and look into that for you a little bit deeper. Trying to re-rail myself here now after doing everything. But if you don't have any other questions, guys, then obviously be sure to join us next week. Where Savannah and who is joining Savannah? Let's have a look there. Savannah and who is joining Savannah? Savannah and a member of our support team will be
I
here
think
talking
that's
about
Farinaz, actually, Pete. It's
Farinaz.
Farinaz. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Savannah and Farinaz will be looking into the content library feature. And yeah, we'll, like I said, Missy and Liz will reach out to you about this. But yeah, thanks again for joining us, guys. I hope you have a great time and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.